Our next speaker is a native of New Orleans, grew up in Jackson, Louisiana, graduated from LSU as a master's from Ohio University, was named to his current position in 2011, and has overseen the charity of the 4Kids Foundation. He's coming on board then, and of course overseen the PGA Tour event in the New Orleans area since then, the Zurich Classic of New Orleans, which will undergo a significant change for the 2017 event, which he will address among other things. It's always great to have him with us. Please give a warm Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation Quarterback Club welcome to Steve Worthy. Steve?
Thanks for having me, Ken. Always nice to be able to talk about the Zurich Classic with fellow sports fans. We've got some big news coming. First, I'll give you just a little background. I work for the 4Kids Foundation. We've got about 250 members, primarily New Orleans, but we've also got members in Baton Rouge, down the bayou, kind of spread around the state. Those members are very dedicated, work very hard to help run and sell the golf tournament. And the biggest thing is, at the end of the day, a lot of people don't recognize all of the proceeds from the golf tournament go to charity. We've distributed, our members are very involved in that. We vet all our charities, make sure that the money's going the right place and having the right impact. We've distributed just over $8.5 million in the last 5 years and are really having an impact on the lives of children in our area and are very proud of that. I know our members are very proud of that. It's because of the dedication of those members, of the 600 or so volunteers that we have that work at the golf tournament, and because we have a great title sponsor in Zurich Insurance Company. Zurich has spent over $100 million in the city of New Orleans in the last 10 years. They have a big impact on the city. They love the golf tournament. They love their ability to entertain their international guests here. And because of that team, we've been able to, this year with a change, we will have a two-man team format event for the 2017 Zurich Classic in New Orleans. There hasn't been a two-man team event on the tour, official event on the PGA Tour since 1981. If you go back in history, Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer won a team championship together. Ben Hogan had wins in the team championship. Byron Nelson did. Byron Nelson, he won 11 tournaments in a row, which is obviously a record, and the first one of those was a two-man team event. So, when players start the year, I think most of them aspire to get to play on one of the international teams. The two big events, I'm sure a lot of people probably watched, if you're into golf, the Ryder Cup, which was one of the more exciting Ryder Cups probably in history a couple of months ago, or a month ago. The President's Cup also is the same dynamic, except it's the U.S. versus the rest of the world. The Ryder Cup is U.S. versus Europe. The President's Cup is U.S. versus the rest of the world. But there seems to be a dynamic and an excitement about team golf that it just makes it different from other events. So the fact that we're able to have a two-man team event, will be the first in quite a while, has really created a lot of excitement. If you've watched the President's Cup or Ryder Cup, the first 2 days in the team competition, there's alternate shot. It's foursomes, which is alternate shot. I'll hit my shot, and then my partner will hit from where my ball finished. And then best ball, which is we both play our ball out and record the score of the better of the two. So in our format, Thursday will be alternate shot, Friday will be best ball. We'll make the cut. We'll have 35 teams advance to Saturday, 35 teams and ties, alternate shot again on Saturday, and best ball on Sunday. So, we really we did some investigating before we decided to make the move. The PGA Tour talked to a lot of players. We talked to a lot of players. And the feedback was just incredibly positive. I mean, so many of these guys have never played alternate shot in any kind of competition. So I think that's going to create some new situations for some players. I think a lot of them just think it's nice to have a teammate to high five or fist bump when you make a putt, other than having your caddy with you. But it's going to be educational. We've been learning as we've gone through, gotten a lot of calls from players. The way it's going to work, there is a PGA Tour category list, and players from top all the way down to the bottom are ranked based on the prior year and prior things that they've done. And the highest 80 ranked players in our field will get to pick their own partner. There's been a lot of joking and laughing between players about, it's like getting a date to the dance. You better get your date early or you might get left out. and that dynamic of chasing guys and trying to figure out who they want to partner with has been really interesting. And I think they'll start to figure it out as they go forward. But in year one, it's going to be a little bit different. I've had a lot of guys call me, in trying to figure out, am I going to be in a position to pick my own partner? I might need to accept an invitation from a higher ranked player to guarantee that I'm in the event. But if there's someone else I want to play with, am I going to be ranked high enough to be able to pick my own partner? So it's definitely creating some different dynamics there. You've got college teammates, guys who play practice rounds together, just good friends. There are so many different combinations there. When we made the announcement, the first two teams that announced were Justin Rose and Henrik Stenson. Justin Rose was our 2015 Zurich Classic champion. He won the 2013 U.S. Open. Is a longtime Ryder Cup player and had a lot of success with his partner, Henrik Stenson. Henrik won the British Open this past summer in an incredible performance. He's won the FedEx Cup, and the two of them actually finished first and second. Golf came back to the Olympics this summer for the first time in a very long time, and Justin was the gold medal winner, and Henrik was the silver medal winner. And I'm sure we're going to have both of them with those medals hanging around their neck for some photos during the Zurich Classic this year. So that's going to be obviously a very strong team. Ricky Fowler and Jason Day also announced as a team. Jason is the #1 player in the world. Has had an incredible 2 or 3 year run here where he's been, he's played exceptionally well. Ricky Fowler, one of the more popular players on the tour, has been in the top 10 for quite some time, won the Players' Championship, has a great following. There have been a lot of players on Twitter, and they're all reaching out, and, will you play with me, and what about this pairing, and that sort of thing. So I think it's going to be really interesting going forward. We're very, very excited. The fans are excited. The Zurich Classic, we have a lot of supporters who come out. I'm not sure they pay a whole lot of attention to golf. Our food and beverage is so good. We've got bands and food and drink, and a lot of our people probably don't pay as much attention to the golf as they should. For those that are interested in golf, I think we are absolutely going to see some guys that we haven't seen in a very long time or have never seen before. The feedback that we've gotten has been very, very positive, and I'm hoping we'll have a lot of those additional commitments and big players to announce here very shortly, but as it continues. But we're excited about where things are going. I think it's going to be great. It's great for the Four Kids Foundation. It's great for the city, and probably most of all, it's great for the children in New Orleans because we hope to sell more national sponsors, raise more money, and ultimately impact the lives of more children in the area. So, the future's bright. We're very excited about where we're going with the golf tournament, and happy to answer any questions if anyone has any.
No more automatic Masters.
That hasn't been approved yet. The tournament for the two-man team winning the golf tournament, it will count as an official win on the PGA Tour, which comes with a 2-year exemption. It'll get them into invitationals, the Memorial, Bay Hill, or the Arnold Palmer Invitational, Colonial, all of those things. It's official money. They're still playing for $7.1 million. Our winner last year won $1.262 million. The way the team format will work, first and second place money will be added together and then split in half. So winners will still get $1 million, which is certainly significant enough to get people's attention. They've not yet approved the exemption to Augusta, but we're certainly hopeful that is going to happen, and we think the strength of the field will drive that.
So is one of the changes with this new pairings, do they make the cut as a team, or
No, they will make the cut as a team. So
they don't shuffle the teams after the cut?
No, they'll stay together the entire time. So in alternate shot, they will post a score, say 65, 67, whatever the score might be. Then they'll play best ball on Friday, and they'll post another score, 62. I mean, you think about, in the last 4 years, Billy Horschel shot 20 under, Sung-Yul No was 20 under, Justin Rose was 22 under, and Brian Stewart was 15 under in 3 rounds. The golf course is not easy, but with some rain, it's been soft, and the greens are perfect, and they just make every putt. In best ball, you could see a 56 or 57. I mean, these guys, they're so good. But they will post those 2 scores and then make the cut, and it'll be the top 35 teams and ties that advance.
And with these players and their endorsements, will they get to to replace their ball with their
They'll have to play the same ball, so that's a dynamic like you probably have seen in the Ryder Cup, where if one guy plays a Titleist and one guy plays a Callaway, they're going to have to settle on which ball in alternate shot. They'll continue with the same ball the whole way through.
Hey, Steve. I think it's great, this announcement you've made. And I just want to know, how did this decision come about? How did it start? And did it come from the PGA? Did you guys go approach the PGA? How did that happen?
Well, every year we get together with Zurich and the PGA Tour and try to talk about, how can we make our event better? Everybody's fighting for shelf space. Every event, we have some great things. Other events have great things as well. And the competition to get the players that we want here, we get a lot of them, but we certainly don't get all that I want. So in some of those conversations about how we can make the event better, we threw out several different ideas, and this was one that we settled on. And it's been something that's been floating around out there, here and there, got mentioned, but it hadn't been done since 1981. Took some time to kind of explore it, get some feedback from players, make sure Zurich, obviously our title sponsor, was comfortable with it. And based on the response being so positive, we were very excited to move. Frankly, I would have loved to have been able to get it done. We were hoping to be able to announce it right after the Ryder Cup. But the next PGA Tour Policy Board meeting wasn't for another several weeks, so we had to wait to that to make it official. But, the pop it's gotten, let's face it, it's rare for the world of golf to be talking about the Zurich Classic 6 months out. I've been on the West Coast for the last 4 days, and I saw college golf coaches, pros at different golf courses. When they heard Zurich Classic, the format's going to be incredible. People were so excited about it. So I think the buzz and the fact that people are really looking forward to it, it's going to drive TV ratings. It's good for Zurich. It's good for the city. So,
are you still on the same place in the calendar as regards to the tour and Jazz Fest conflict and everything?
We are. Last year, because of the way things fell, we actually fell the second week of Jazz Fest, which was, I think, the only time that's happened. But this year we are April 24th through 30th, which is the first week of Jazz Fest. So, Zurich likes being during Jazz Fest. They're able to entertain their guests. We have a lot of players who want to go. You got a lot of their people come to, until early afternoon and go to Jazz Fest. A lot of players, especially those that miss the cut, enjoy Jazz Fest on the weekend. So I would probably foresee us staying in or around that time frame, but are definitely we're the first week of Jazz Fest for this year.
How many times have you been asked the question about City Park and had to defer?
It comes up. We're following the progress. We're happy at TPC. We get a lot of support there. We've got all the infrastructure and everything that it takes to host a golf tournament there, and given the weather we've had, having that infrastructure has been incredibly good. Per contract with PGA Tour, we've got to have hard surface for our TV partners to put on the broadcast and that sort of thing, and that doesn't exist currently at City Park. I haven't been. I know they've grassed it and are close. I haven't seen the entire golf course, but it's something we'll continue to monitor. But we're certainly happy with where we are. So. Thank you very much for having me, and thanks